Hi there. If you live in a country with frequent tornadoes, you may have heard the following very useful piece of safety advice. Namely that if you see a tornado that's apparently standing still, you should get to safety immediately. Now this is very good advice, but why is it good advice? Let's try and find out using some basic physics and some basic trigonometry. In this diagram, we see a side view with you standing right here and the tornado being right over here. And from the top, you can see there's a distance d between you and the twister. We will assume it has a radius of r and is moving directly towards you with a speed v. So what we can ask is, how large does this tornado seem to you subjectively? Now, that's maybe a tricky question to answer, but what we can say is that the tornado will take up a certain amount of your field of view, and we can say that the angle that it takes up is going to be 2 times theta, where theta is the angle generated by the radius here and the distance to the twister. So how can we compute theta? Well, we simply need to take r and divide it by the distance here, which of course changes over time because of the speed v. So if we plug in the distance function d minus v times t, we can see that we can compute the inverse tangent on both sides and multiply by 2 in order to get the following expression for field of view taken up by the tornado over time. To get a bit more insight, let's try to actually graph this for some realistic numbers. So that's what I've done here. You can see that I've chosen a tornado with a radius of 30 meters, which turns out to not be as large as the average one in North America at least. Let's assume that it's initially 2 kilometers away from us and that it's moving at a speed of 20 meters per second. We see that over time, which is on the x-axis, the field of view clearly increases. But let's notice that initially, at 0 seconds, the field of view taken up by this tornado is only around 1.7 degrees. For reference, if you hold up your thumb in a stretch out arm, that approximately takes up 2 degrees of your field of view. So at this point, the tornado doesn't look very threatening. Then after 25 seconds, when the distance is only 1.5 kilometers, we can see that the field of view has increased slightly to 2.3 degrees, but that's not much bigger than your initial size of the tornado in your view, so you can be forgiven for overlooking that anything's even changed at all. Then, after 50 seconds, when we're right here, distance must be 1 kilometer, but again, the field of view is only around 3, so now it's sort of doubled to a point where the tornado takes up 2 thumbs. Now you might notice that something's changed, but you can also be forgiven for overlooking it. Furthermore, at 75 seconds, the distance is only 500 meters now, and at this point you can see that the tornado might take up maybe 4 fingers, maybe 5 worth of space in your field of view. So now you probably notice that something's changed, but you might not realize how close it's actually getting. And then over here at 90 seconds, you can actually see that the size has increased to sort of 2 hands worth of width. There's only 10 seconds before it actually is right on top of you. So essentially your subjective experience of this whole process is that for the most part, let's say the first 85 seconds, you'll think that nothing much is happening. This seems pretty safe, the tornado's not getting close or increasing very much, so I'll probably be fine. And then for the remaining few seconds before the tornado actually hits, probably panic because it gets really big very quickly because it's so close to you. That's why you should definitely take that initial piece of advice very seriously. Please take cover if you see a tornado, especially if it seems to be stationary in your point of view. So thank you very much for watching. I recommend that you look into the advice provided by your local or national weather service or even your insurance company for more tips on avoiding the dangers of extreme weather. Thank you very much for watching and have a very nice day.